reviewed each of your background along with your answers to the balance of the one-use questionnaire and some other information. And with that, my hope here is to give you a chance to talk about the campaign and to answer our questions. Before we proceed, I have a yes or no question for each of you. Since 2006, have you voted in a Republican primary or contributed to a Republican candidate? Judge Jordan?
No, not since I've been eligible to vote.
Okay. Ms. Redmond?
No, I have not.
Okay, thank you. So the format is 1 minute for opening and for each candidate, and I'd like to commence. Judge Jordan, 1 minute for your opening statement.
All right, thank you. My name is Jim Jordan. I am the incumbent judge of the 160th District Court, first elected in 2006. I was previously appointed judge by Governor Mark White in 1986, and many of you, I'm sure, are aware, the Republicans swept much of the county back then, and I went back into private practice, still supporting the Democratic Party, and in 2006 ran again and was elected to the 160th. In 2008, I was the Democratic candidate for the Chief Justice of the of the Texas Supreme Court, and I campaigned statewide with our statewide candidates, among others, then Senator Barack Obama. I am board certified in civil trial law. Civil trial is the docket from my court. Only 0.1% of attorneys are board certified, and I hold that distinction. Thank you.
Great. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here and being a part of our democracy. My name is Aiesha Redmond, and I'm running for judge to bring back true equality and justice to this court. I want to administer justice efficiently, effectively, but most importantly, fairly. The insurance companies, big corporations, and big banks tend to have an upper hand, and I'm running to change that. I started my career at Baker Box, trying cases, multi-million-dollar cases. I'm also a former assistant district attorney where I protected and fought for the citizens of Dallas County in both civil and criminal divisions. I've tried over 100 cases, most of those being jury trials. Not only am I passionate about the law, but I am passionate about the community and our children. And so a few years ago, I started a mentoring program at my church, at Disciple Central Community Church, where we provide young girls, teenage girls, with mentors and the proper tools necessary to becoming successful women in our society.
Thank you. For the first question, a Texas statute lists the minimum legal qualifications necessary to be a district judge, none of which go directly to one's judicial or legal competence. What do you feel are the minimum legal skills, temperament, and judgments necessary to be a district court judge in Dallas County? And do you feel that your opponent has those minimum skills based on either a resume, practice, experience, or your direct interaction with the candidate?
Okay. Well, I think that to be a judge in a civil district court, you need to have experience trying cases in the civil district court. I would like to see a minimum established for judges who are going to be judged in a civil district court, that they be board certified in one of the areas, the subject matter areas that is covered by a civil district court. As you mentioned, the minimum requirements for being a judge are quite low. I believe it only requires that you have been an attorney for 4 years, that you be over the age of 25, and that you live in the county that you serve, and that's it. And clearly, we need more experience and qualifications than that for our judges. I believe I do have that experience. I've been board certified, as I mentioned before, since 1984 continuously. I was board certified when I was first appointed by Governor Mark White in the 44th. I also think that a judge needs to have the proper temperament. A judge needs to treat everyone fairly that comes into the judge's courtroom. The judge needs to create an atmosphere where the parties and the attorneys feel that it is a safe environment to present their case. And a judge needs to let the parties know that the judge is listening to their case. It's important for all parties that they have a feeling that they have been listened to, that they have been given a fair opportunity to present their case, and that the court or the jury has listened to them and has considered their point and their side of the case before deciding the case. I don't really know my opponent well enough to talk about her qualifications. I didn't know her before she filed in this particular election cycle. I have looked at the Dallas County District Clerk's record. I haven't seen any evidence of any trials either before a judge or a jury in a civil district court, and I would think that would at least be something that a judge who aspires to be or a person who aspires to be judge in the civil district court, that's the kind of experience that one should have. I have continuously been highly rated by the attorneys that appear in my court, by the Dallas Bar Judicial Evaluation Poll that occurs every 2 years. And it is required to vote in that poll that you appear in the judge's court. 46% that vote in that poll are from law firms of 10 persons or less, and I'm consistently in the 90s on all the categories that they have in that poll.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. As I stated before, I've tried over 100 cases, most of those being jury trials, and I would encourage everyone to go on the Dallas County public website and pull up those records. They are there. As far as qualifications in order to be a civil district judge, I think it's important that individuals have trial experience. I don't believe that there is a requirement to have one jury trial under your belt, and I believe that's very important. How can you preside over cases, over trials, without having trial experience? I think good temperament is also very important in these courts. A lot of times it's intimidating to individuals who aren't attorneys, who don't appear in court on a daily basis. It can be very intimidating to them, and they should not be felt or be put in a position by a judge to feel lesser than. I think it's important to not only have the legal experience, the civil experience, the trial experience, and the good temperament to respect individuals that appear in your court, but I believe community service is also very important in order to serve the people of Dallas County in any elected position. Having that community service and the experience of trying cases and representing all individuals helps to mold an individual and mold their character to be fair and impartial to all parties if you have worked with all individuals and represented both sides. And I have that unique experience. I've not only represented the big banks, the big corporations, but I've also represented the average person in civil cases as well as criminal cases.
Thank you. I'm going to shift gears a little bit away from qualifications, and I want to talk about a recent Dallas Morning News editorial board review. That editorial board review mentions campaign strategies that do not necessarily place the campaigns in the best of light, especially considering the fact that we're electing judges. I would like to give each of you 3 minutes to address what your campaign, its actions, strategies, and decisions say about how the voters should think about you as a judge or potential judge. And by campaign, I don't want to limit it to just yourself, but also those friends, agents, consultants that you have engaged in your campaign. Judge Jordan.
Okay. Well, in running my campaign by going to as many voters as I can, outreaching to voters throughout the county, north, south, east, and west, and I've gone to all of the Democratic clubs, not just this campaign cycle, but I have been going to them in the past as well. And when I talk about my race, I'll talk about my qualifications, and I think that the voters should decide this case based on who they think has the best qualifications and the most experience and can best serve the citizens of this county and of this state as judge of the 160th District Court. And as I mentioned before, I was first elected in 2006. I have run unopposed in 3 previous terms up until this point, and I have served the county well, and I have been a good ambassador for the Democratic Party. Now, there are 2 other candidates that are in this race, one of whom I have not talked to either before or after she entered the race. The other one I do know. They decided to get into this race. I wish they were here to tell you why they got into this race, because I can't speak for them. But I can tell you this. If you ask the party chair or you ask the previous party chair, they will tell you that anyone is free. This is an open primary. Anyone is free to file for any race they choose. And that's what happened in this case. I have 3 opponents. They are running for this bench. Whether or not they are running against me as the incumbent or they're running against my challenger is their choice, and they'll have to tell you what decisions they made in making that choice. I will also tell you this about the Dallas editorial board. About a week ago, they had an article in the newspaper that graded the President Trump on his last year, or his first year, perhaps his last year, but his first year in office. And in that grade, they gave him an A for his judicial appointments. Now, all of you have seen the television news clips of his judicial nominees unable to answer simple questions about what they would do as judge, not having any experience, not knowing anything about the court that they were seeking to be appointed to. This is the same editorial staff that reviewed our race. So if you want to take the recommendation of an editorial staff that gives Donald Trump an A for his judicial appointments, well, then be my guest.
Ms. Redmond.
It's okay. Yes, so we live in a democracy, and I get excited when I see individuals who want to be part of this democracy and run for office. And I encourage individuals who want to make a change, who want to serve the community, who actually want to be judges, to run for office. But that is not what we have here in this situation. And I believe that we should all be open and honest about what has occurred. And I get their strategy, and I don't. I understand that every candidate wants to win, but I do not think that it is right to try to manipulate voters by encouraging individuals who have no passion for the community, they do not inspire to be judges and to make a difference. And that's not right. That is not right. I believe that we are all better than that. I think that's very unfortunate. And so I'm running my campaign based on my credentials, based on my passion for the community, for change, for fairness, for equality in our judicial system. As I stated before, I have encouraged everyone to run for office, and everyone is free to run for a position that they truly are seeking out to win, not just to take away votes from certain individuals or to manipulate voters. I have no respect for that, and I believe that we should all expect our judicial candidates to be better than that.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead. I have one further question for each of you. We can have 1 minute each. And that is, after the primaries, once the primary has ended, will each of you commit to participating in the coordinated campaign? Judge Jordan?
Absolutely. I've participated in the coordinated campaign before. I've participated in helping Democrats get elected when I wasn't on the ballot. I have been a Democrat since I cast my first vote in college for Sissy Farenthold for governor. Some of you may remember that name. I campaigned for and voted for, and I have been working and helping Democrats ever since. And I'm going to do it this November. just like I have in previous Novembers. I'm going to work the phone banks. I'm going to walk the blocks. I'm going to ride people to the polls, and I'm going to support the ticket top to bottom. I'm very optimistic about our chances this year, not only of keeping Dallas blue, but of turning Texas blue, and I look forward to that.
Yes, we're in very critical times right now, and regardless of what occurs in my race, I definitely will be knocking on doors, placing phone calls, and getting out the vote, encouraging everyone to get out and vote. We need to make a difference, and we all need to be a part of that. It's very important to encourage, especially our youth, to get involved in our democracy and to seek out change and to seek out difference, because that is what we need. And I've been involved in assisting with some of our elected officials in previous years with getting out the vote and getting out their message. And so I would definitely be a part of the coordinated campaign in continuing those efforts.
Before we do the closing statement, can I ask the candidates for the Judicial District 68 to please come forward and sit in the holding station. Okay, 1 minute for a closing statement. Judge Gordon.
All right, thank you. I agree with Ms. Redmond that we need to be open and honest about how we're running this election. And I would just suggest to you that if you look at the history of this particular race, Ms. Redmond first ran for a bench that had King Pfeiffer on it. It was a county law bench. King Pfeiffer then announced his retirement, and 2 more women got on the race, and she decided to move off that race and move on to my race. And I can tell you that she ran against King Pfeiffer because, frankly, he was a man. And she moved over to my race because I am a man. And she has told people this, and it would be disingenuous for her to say that she's running against me because of any perceived failing on my part in my bench. It's merely because I'm a male. And I would also encourage you to do as she said, check the Dallas County records to see if there are any civil district trials where she has appeared as lead counsel in either a bench or a jury trial.
Thank you. Ms. Redmond?
I did announce for the county court at law courts, and after making that announcement, I learned that the commissioners are trying to get rid of those courts. A judge appeared in front of the commissioners asking for a raise. The commissioners did their research and due diligence and found out that 68% less cases were being filed in those courts. And so not only did that judge not get a raise, but commissioners are now considering getting rid of those courts. And I did not think it was in my best interest to seek out a position that might not exist in the near future. I did not seek out this office or any judicial office or interest to run for public office to run against a male. I am in this to make change, to bring back true equality and justice. That has always been my commitment as to why I'm running for office, and that has never changed. And I'm proud to say that I've always run on my record and my passion for true equality and justice. And I would never try to manipulate voters by asking individuals to enter my own race who have no interest in serving the community.
Okay, thank you both. Thank you again for running for district judge.
Thank you.
Thank you.